This is my first video update coming to you from Nicosia, Cyprus on this Thursday morning. Let's talk about some news and let's discuss, first let's discuss more classified documents being found connected to Bidenopolis, to Joe Bidenopolis. So we had the first batch that was found in this Biden pen think tank. By the way, there was someone in the comments from my video yesterday where I talked about this story that said Biden and think tank. those two words together, yeah, they don't quite fit, do they? Biden think tank. That's an oxymoron. Anyway, that was a very clever comment, by the way. So you have the first batch, which was at this Biden pen think tank that they allegedly discovered, that they did discover and allegedly have classified documents related to various countries, including Ukraine. Well, now you have a second batch of classified documents. I think this is according to NBC News, that they have discovered a second batch of documents. They are not disclosing where these documents were hidden away at, but these docs have also surfaced as well. And Biden, I believe he was in Mexico, and he responded to what's going on with these documents, and his response was, I don't know. I forgot all about them, and I don't know what's going on, but I did the right thing. That's the line from Biden and from his press secretary. I did the right thing because these documents that I forgot about, that I took out of these classified documents that I should not have taken, and I stashed away in some closets. I completely forgot about them, but I did the right thing because we did the right thing because our lawyers that found them, they turned them over to the authorities right away. So all is good, right? That's the line that they're going with. That's the logic that they're going to be using. We stole the documents, or we took the documents, which we shouldn't have taken. We hid them away in a closet, but when we discovered them many, many years later, we did the right thing by turning them over to the authorities. So, no problems, right? No worries. Все хорошо. Anyway, it's like saying this. It's like saying, I stole this Van Gogh. I stole it. I put it. I stashed it in my garage, hidden away in my garage, in a closet in my garage, and I don't know. 5 years later, my lawyer was cleaning out my garage, and he found the Van Gogh, and he returned it back to the rightful owners. So all is good, right? No problem, man. All is good. Anyway, someone has it in for Biden. Someone has it in for Biden. Someone wants to extract something out of Biden. I don't know what's going on, but the fact that all of a sudden, after all the midterms are over and completed, all done with, all of a sudden you're getting all of these classified documents just kind of popping up here and there. Come on. Come on. Something doesn't add up. Now you have the Republicans. They want an investigation into all of this. They want answers to what's going on, and you have all of this stuff playing out. But someone wants Biden gone, or someone wants something out of Biden. When I mean someone, I mean, I don't know, deep state, I don't know, oligarchs, who knows? Whatever it is, I have no clue, but this is not a coincidence. This is just not, my lawyers were going through my closets. Oh, look, classified docs. And then the next day, well, my lawyers were going through another closet. Oh, look, classified docs. Come on, man. Anyway, since we're talking about classified docs in Ukraine, let's talk about what's going on in Russia with regards to Ukraine. And we have a new command structure in the Russian military. The head of the Russian General Staff, Army General Valery Gerasimov, has been appointed to lead Moscow's joint forces in Ukraine, the Defense Ministry said in a statement on Wednesday. The former commander of the military operation, Army General Sergei Surovikin, has been made his deputy. The need to raise the operational command level was linked to an increased scale of the combat missions and the need for closer coordination between various services and branches of the armed forces the ministry said. So basically, you have the head of the Russian General Staff, Gerasimov. He is going to be the top guy. He's going to be running the show, and he's going to be situated close to the Kremlin, right, close to the power structures, the political power structures, and the Ministry of Defense. And then he's been appointed, and then you have Surovikin appointed one of the deputies. There's 3 deputies that have been appointed, but the interesting one is Surovikin, at least in my opinion, because Surovikin is going to be the deputy that's going to be overseeing the operation, like on the ground in Ukraine. So he's going to be the guy that's close to the action, and then you're going to have another 2 generals that are also going to be reporting to Gerasimov. Then Gerasimov is going to be the top guy, and he's going to be close to the political power structure. And I don't think we need to speculate why this is being done. I think the Ministry of Defense is telling us the need to raise the operation command level was linked to an increased scale of the combat missions and the need for closer coordination between various services and branches of the armed forces, coordination between the political decision makers, i.e., I'm having trouble speaking today, i.e., the Security Council, Putin, along with the generals that are conducting this conflict, and Gerasimov with Surovikin and the people on the ground. So just a tighter integration between all of the people making the decisions, whether it's on the political side or the military side. But more importantly, why this is being done, the reason that this is being done is clear, because the scale of operations is going to increase. I mean, the Ministry of Defense is saying it. Increased scale of the combat missions. I mean, something big is about to happen, right? The scale is going to get a lot bigger than just, I would imagine, than just what we're seeing in Donbass, the operation in Donbass. I imagine that they're talking about a much, much bigger conflict. Of course, they could also be doing this because they feel that that NATO is getting more and more involved, and this big conflict could be NATO entering the conflict. This could also be it. So the Russians are either preparing or they're anticipating a much bigger conflict to take place, and so they're preparing for it by making these changes. And I think the timing is interesting because this is being announced at a time when Soledar has just been taken by the Russian military. Actually, the interesting part about Soledar and what's going on is that, this is just on a side note, is that it is the Wagner group, these forces that have been fighting this conflict over the past few months in Bakhmut and Soledar. Just keep that in mind, that yes, Wagner and these paid military fighters, yes, they are in a way. I mean, it's very gray, the connections, but yes, they are part of the Russian military, especially since Surovikin took over. They are now part of the unified Russian fighting force. But over the past, say, 4 months, it has been the Wagner fighters that have been engaging in what many people have called their own private war. That's what analysts have been calling it. It's Bakhmut and Soledar has been Wagner's private war in that area, and now they're bringing it to a conclusion. Just keep in mind that you have an entire, Russian military that is also there, outside of the Wagner military combatants. So, just on a side note, just something to keep in mind. But the timing of this change in command is happening at a time when Soledar is being taken by the Russian forces. Bakhmut will now inevitably be taken by the Russian forces, and and the entire Ukraine Donbass defense line, the entire presence of the Ukraine military in the Donbass is going to now crumble. That's obvious, and so this announcement is being made at a time when it seems that over the next, I don't know, say the next month, let's just call it that over the next month, Donbass will be wrapping up, maybe the next month or two, Donbass will be wrapping up, and what comes next? Maybe this is hinting at what comes next. I don't know. Military experts, military strategists, what do you think this change means? What do you think it signals? I mean, the Ministry of Defense is putting it out there. An increased scale of combat missions. That is a direct quote. So that is big news. That is very, very big news, and it hints at something big that the Russians are preparing, or it hints at something big that the Russians are anticipating from the other side. And Putin was actually speaking the other day to government officials, and he said that everything that our adversaries have done to us as Russia has failed. Quote, nothing that our adversaries predicted happened to us, Putin said as he thanked the government for its effective work throughout 2022, which helped Russia withstand international pressure amid unprecedented sanctions imposed by the U.S. and its allies. Quote, in no small way, that was the result of the government's work. The president then said that there's still much that needs to be done to secure Russia's absolutely sovereign, independent development despite all the external pressure and threats. It really does sound like Russia is looking at one chapter in what has been going on since the SMO is about to conclude, and we're now moving towards another chapter. And it's always interesting to see Putin now use the words adversaries. Not so long ago, the word that Putin would always use when describing the collective West was partners. Our partners in Europe, our partners in the United States, no matter how bad things got. Even in Syria, even during the sanctions, Crimea, no matter what was going on, Putin and actually the entire leadership in the Kremlin, they would always use the word partners. Our partners in the West, our partners in America, in the United States. Now it's our adversaries. Our adversaries. Interesting choice of words. Interesting change of words. So we have this poker table, and we have EU member states. They're sitting at this poker table, and one EU non-member state, actually two, if you take into consideration the United States, but say the UK as well. They're all sitting at this poker table, and they're all waiting to see who is going to be the first country to really, beef up that pot and contribute a good amount of tanks to Elensky. And the UK said that they'll make a symbolic gesture. They'll put in a couple of challengers as a symbolic gesture to get the ball rolling, to get the pot rolling. And Poland said that they're also going to, throw in a couple of Leopard tanks just to get the ball rolling, to see if there's going to be any other big EU member states that are going to make a big tank contribution to the pot. Well, it looks like Poland, they've decided, you know what? No one is biting. No one is really putting in a big contribution of Leopard tanks. So we're going to go in with 14 Leopards. So they took their two They turned them to 14, and here we are. Here we are. So we are now going to be waiting for other EU member states to start throwing in, to start contributing to the tank, the Ukraine Elensky tank pot of this poker match. Macron said, I'm out. I've already contributed light tanks, so I'm already out. I'm all good, guys. And Poland is they're getting the ball rolling with 14 Leopards. And actually, Duda was in, the Polish president was in Lviv. He was in Lviv, and he was meeting with Elensky, and he was also with, I believe, the Lithuanian leader as well. They all made a trip to Lviv to meet with Elensky, and this is an interesting development. Not because this is the trip where Duda announced that he's going to be giving Ukraine 14 Leopard tanks, but they signed a document. Well, let me read you what's going on here. A company of Leopard tanks will be transferred as part of a coalition building. We want it to be an international company, and we decided to put the first package in the form of tanks, Duda told reporters in the western Ukraine city of Lviv. He was meeting with Lithuanian counterpart Gitanas Nausėda and Ukrainian President Elensky, and this is the interesting part, to sign a joint declaration of the Lublin Triangle, a regional group forged by the trio in 2020 to evoke the 17th century Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth. So he goes there, he says, I'm going to give 14 tanks to you, Elensky. Elensky's happy. He's got his 14 tanks. Now he's going to be expecting a lot more tanks. But even more interesting is the fact that Lithuania, Poland, and Ukraine, they were there to sign this declaration, to sign a joint declaration of the Lublin Triangle, to evoke the 17th century Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth. Very, very interesting. Let's walk through here. Resistance brings freedom. Resistance brings freedom. I don't know if you guys could see that. All right. Interesting. My mind once again turns to Lviv, West Ukraine, Poland, Lithuania, West Ukraine. I don't know. Something is being cooked up. Something big is being cooked up. By the way, Poland is now asking the United States to force Germany to pay the 1.3 trillion in reparations. I talked about this story last week. Well, the Polish authorities, they're not giving up on this. Even though Germany has said this is a non-starter, we're not going to talk about this, they are now appealing to the US, and they are saying, America, we want you to lean on Germany and force them to pay us 1.3 trillion in reparations. Quote, we believe that the US is a country that determines the global order today, a key country when it comes to respecting the international order, human rights, the rule of law, and international justice. That is what the Deputy Minister of Foreign Affairs from Poland said. He added that he hopes the US Congressional Committee, as well as several individual senators and congressmen, will assist Warsaw in the issue of Poland's claiming compensation for the effects of World War II. I want to emphasize that to this day, Germany has not compensated Poland for war losses. Also, Polish citizens have not received appropriate compensation from the German state. The deputy foreign minister said, having previously accused Berlin of double standards and disrespect towards the Polish state. Hmm. Hmm. Oh, what do you guys think is going on here? What do you think is going on? Got a little meeting, signed a document, cooperation between Lithuania, Poland, Ukraine, in a very symbolic location, Lviv. I wonder what that symbolizes. We have Poland going now to the United States, leaning on Germany to say, give us 1.3 trillion, give us 1.3 trillion. Something is being cooked up. Something is coming. Something is coming. I'll reference everybody to the video I did in Larnaca where I talked about one of the reasons that Poland might be pushing this 1.3 billion thing so much with regard to Germany. In a way, it's Poland protecting its land in Poland's west, while it looks, perhaps, this is just a theory, while it perhaps looks to reclaim Polish land towards its east, i.e. Lviv. Something like that could be going on here. Let's now do a clown world and two clown worlds, and we'll wrap this video up. The first clown world is the Golden Globe Awards. yes, there still are Golden Globe Awards. And actually, let me walk up this way. It's a little windy down here. Let me see if I can get in between some of the buildings to break the wind. People are still watching the Golden Globes, not really, because the viewership numbers were at an all-time historic low with these Golden Globe Awards. But the Golden Globes yesterday evening, though no one was really watching them, they did manage to secure a very big guest speaker, and that guest speaker was Elensky. Elensky actually showed up at the Golden Globe Awards. He was introduced by Sean Penn, of course. Who else? Sean Penn, having already given Elensky his Oscar, he introduced Elensky to all of the Hollywood cool kids at the Beverly Hills Hotel. I think that's where it was being held. The Golden Globes is like the foreign press that votes for their favorite movies, and TV shows, and stuff like that, I think. Anyway, it's the foreign press. And last year they didn't have a Golden Globes because it wasn't woke enough. And this year it became woke, and so they decided to hold it. No one was watching it. Sean Penn comes on stage. He starts talking about Afghanistan and Iran and how people are fighting for freedom in Iran and Afghanistan, which, okay, Afghanistan, really? 20 years of U.S. military occupation, and you're talking about freedom in Afghanistan? Anyway, Sean Penn then introduces his best buddy, his BFF, Elensky. And Elensky, this is a recorded video message, by the way. He says this, and I've got to pull up this line here because this is quite a quote. He says, "The war in Ukraine is not over yet." By the way, this is being dubbed Elensky's special message of peace. The war in Ukraine is not over yet, but the tide is turning. Keep in mind, this is right after Solidar as well. I'm sorry, I keep on cutting my own self off. The war in Ukraine is not over yet, but the tide is turning, and it is already clear who would win. There are still battles and tears. Now I can definitely tell you who was the best in the previous year. It was you, the people of the free world, those who united around the support of free Ukrainian people in our common struggle for freedom, for democracy, for the right to live and to laugh, no matter who you are, no matter where you are from, unless you're from Russia or Hungary or Romania and you speak Russian or Hungarian or Romanian, then you don't have the right to speak your own language and practice your own religion in Ukraine, but everyone else is okay. Everyone else is okay. Or if you're an opposition party member, or if you're opposition media, then if you're in Ukraine, you're banned. But everyone else is okay. Everyone else is free to laugh and love who they want. And then Elensky added that the struggle was in part the right of the new generations to know about the war only from movies. There will be no World War III arising out from the conflict. It is not a trilogy. Ukraine will stop the Russian aggression on our land. So basically, Elensky was at the Golden Globes and he predicted a victory. Actually, he said there's going to be no World War III, so I guess that's positive news for so many people that are worried about big time escalation leading to a much larger war. You have Elensky saying that's not going to happen. And the reason it's not going to happen is because, according to Elensky, Ukraine is going to stop the Russian aggression. They are going to stop the Russian aggression. So he wanted to thank all of the Hollywood elite for doing so much to help him. And then he asked for more money and more weapons. Just kidding. That last part, I'm kidding. He didn't ask for... I don't think he asked for more money and more weapons. I'm not sure. But yeah, that was Zelensky's speech at the Golden Globes. So he made the announcement that there's going to be no World War III. Unfortunately, no one was watching the event. So, yeah. Anyway, let's do one more clown world here. And since we're on the topic of Elensky, here's one from Breitbart. The title reads, Joe Wilson proposes to display a bust of Elensky in the Capitol building. I believe Joe Wilson is a senator. Is he a senator or a congressman? A Democrat senator or congressman? I'm not quite sure. Representative Joe Wilson. I believe he's a congressman. Anyway, yeah, a bust of Elensky. He wants a permanent bust of Elensky in the Capitol building. They brought the flag into Congress. Now they want a permanent bust of Elensky. Meanwhile, they're tearing down statues of Washington and Jefferson and Lincoln, but they want an Elensky bust. That's not a good look. In my opinion, that is not a good look. So I'm going to wrap this video up. I think we covered a lot of ground. Go to Duran.locals.com. Look for us on Rockfin as well. And we are on all the platforms. Is it sushi time? We think it is. I don't think it is because it's like 8 in the morning. But it's not sushi time right now. But maybe we can get our game on with some Pringles. All right, let's see. Yeah, we are on all the platforms. Telegram, Rumble, ODYSEE, BitChute. And where else? Telegram, ODYSEE, Rumble, BitChute, Duran Shop, 10% off. Use the code. Good day. Take care.